11:8-14. It's the story of Pingla. You can repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Na adhigachet striyam pragyaha. Karichin mrityumatmanaha. Baladikahi sa hanyeta. Gajair anyair gajoyataha. Okay, read. Nadigachet striyam pragya. Karichin mrityumatmanaha. Baladikahi sahanyeta. Gajair gajoyata.
Nadigachet striyam pragya.
Digachet striyam pragya. Karichin mrityumatmanaha. Baladikahi sahanyeta. Gajair gajoyata. Nadigachet striyam pragya.
Karichin mrityumatmanaha. Baladikahi
sahanyeta. Gajair gajoyata. Quite dangerous words, but it's there. Okay, so what meaning? Nadigachet. He should not approach to enjoy. Striyam, a woman. Pragya, one who can intelligently discriminate. Karichet, at any time. Mrityum, death personified. Atmanaha, for oneself. Bala, in strength. Adhikahe, by those who are superior. Saha, he. Hanyeta, will be destroyed. Gajahe, by elephants. Anyai, by others. Gajaha, an elephant. Yatha, just as. Translation forward by Srila Prabhupada, ISKCON founder Acharya. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A man possessing intelligent discrimination should not, under any circumstances, try to exploit the beautiful form of a woman for his sense gratification. Just as an elephant trying to enjoy a she-elephant is killed by other bull elephants, also enjoying a company, one trying to enjoy a lady's company can at any moment be killed by other lovers who are stronger than he. And Prabhupada Vashila Prabhupada. Just as one is enchanted by the beautiful form of a woman, many other men will also be enchanted, and there is a danger that they will be stronger than oneself, may even jealously kill one. Crimes of passion are extremely common. This is another disadvantage of material life. Anyway, okay, we can discuss on this. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Anjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmaya Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshinyavadi Paschadeshtarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So anyway, this verse is very probably alarming, because it talks about death. Dying without dying. That's what this verse is talking about. You can die without death. There are ways to do this. And one of the ways is this. And in fact, this is a conclusion of story of Pingla. This Pingla, we all know, she was a prostitute. But somehow she came to God realization by the blessings of the Tattva, that Avadhut. And she could realize that this body is worth nothing, and why she is doing all this prostitution. And she then sang a song of Pingla. And this is the conclusion of that story. And she says here, Na Adigachet. So, this word Adigachet means to go. Gachet means to go in Sanskrit. Go. Gach. And Adi means, if you join Adi with Gachet, it means to go near. To go near. And they say Na Adigachet. Don't go near. So, go near to Krishna, but at the same time, don't go near to some other things. So we have to have both angles in our mind. Okay, touch this, don't touch this. And that's why Rupa Goswami says in Nectar of Devotion, Satatam smartyo Vishnu vismartyo na jatu chit. So always remember Krishna, never to forget him. So in other words, it seems the same, but it's not the same. Always do those things which make you remember Krishna, and don't do those things which hamper remembrance of Krishna. So don't obstruct your devotion by your own foolishness. That is the point. Never forget Krishna. And that's what that person was there, Kalidas. He was sitting on the branch of a tree and he was cutting the same branch. Was the most foolish person. That's what we do in our devotional life. We harm ourselves. And that's what Prabhupada said in one of his lectures. There is nobody harming you except yourself. Nobody. There is no enemy of yours except you yourself. We are the greatest enemy of our own welfare. We might think, okay, fine. This is the obstacle in my path. This is the obstacle in my path. This is the obstacle. Forget it. You are the greatest obstacle. Don't blame. This blaming tendency will not allow you to see your own faults. And that is why Bible, Christ says that before looking the faults of others, look for the log of wood in your eyes. There's a problem in your eyes. That's why you're trying to look. It is also said, you can look at many faults, but if you choose to, you can look at many qualities also. That's also said. So you find what you look for. That is said in science also. It's not just in devotional realm. Even in science, which is very strictly guarded by evidences. And science helps you to know truth. But no, that's not exactly correct. Even in science, you find that what you're looking for. In spite of all evidences. You can never understand what is reality. Even in science. You will start finding evidences what you're trying to find. That's what is going to happen. And slowly we get convinced, okay, this is correct. But no, maybe there's another cause behind that cause. Maybe there's a different cause. So that's what Rupa Goswami advises, that Pingla says, Na Adigachet, don't go near to those things which will harm your devotion. And we just heard, what is the greatest harm to our benefit in spiritual life? We ourselves. So don't go near yourself. That's the idea. Na Adigachet. Never go near yourself. Never do that. As soon as we start thinking about ourselves and we go near our own ideas, we are going to harm ourselves. No, stay near Krishna. That's what Bhishma says. I was reading in the morning, Bhishma prayers, and he says to Yudhishthir, you suffered so many tribulations. Kim kashtai kim anyayai. Kashtai means you suffered so many problems in life, no? And anyaya, so much injustice. If anybody except you would have been there, he would have been dead by now. But you lived, and you not only lived in depressed way, but you lived all these sufferings, all this injustice enthusiastically, and you in fact could surpass them. How? By dharma, by vipra dharma achyuta ashray. By taking shelter of three things. Taking shelter of vipra means devotees, and dharma by taking shelter of dharma, religion, and taking shelter of achyuta, Krishna. Achyut, the word, name of Krishna, which signifies that he never fails to protect his devotees. And that's what we should be going. Na adhigachet. Don't go near your own ideas, own speculation, own mind, own selfishness. So where to go? Go near devotees. Take shelter. Go near dharma, religion. Follow religious conducts as far as possible. It is said, dharmo rakshati rakshita. Those who protect religious principles, to them religion will protect. Dharmo rakshati rakshita. If you protect religion, religion will protect you. So go near religion. Go near religion. Try to follow that as much as possible. And finally go near Krishna. And that these three things will guard you. And Prabhupada says an interesting line in that purport. Prabhupada mentions, if you are sincerely following these three things, devotees, instructions, religious codes and conducts as far as possible, and also shelter of Krishna. If you are sincerely trying to follow all these three things, then even if you suffer reverses in your life, there is no cause of despondency. There is no cause of disturbance, because you will be fully protected by these three things. So that's what Vingla says. Na adhigachet. Okay. She says don't go, but don't go near yourself. So if you go near yourself, your own mind, you will just find one thing there, and that is striyam. That's the one thing we're going to find. In the depth of a consciousness, it's all sex, that's all. Kimanne kama haitukam. That's there in our mind. And that sex is not just gross. That is very subtle desire to enjoy. That's striyam also means this nature. This prakriti is also called stri. This matter is called stri. So we get that in the depth of our consciousness there is just this thing. In gross form or in subtle form. It's all to do with lust. And so Pingla says don't go near them. At least in gross form, don't go near lust. Striyam, that's the point. Striyam. And striyam pragya. This word is used, pragya. Pragya means one who is. How can we avoid going near lust? It's very difficult to avoid, because our mind will spontaneously flow towards these things. No, even after 20-30 years of practice, it's not easy to get out of this lust. It's very difficult. It's almost impossible without the blessings of Lord. So in fact, there was a saint, and he was a very great saint, and somebody asked him, so he was practicing devotion. He was a sannyasi for last 50-60 years. He was a sannyasi. In fact, Madhva sannyasi. So somebody asked him, so you have done so much devotion. You should be free of all desires. He said, okay. He said, if you put jewels and gold and money from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. And if you ask me to walk from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, and all along there are jewels, golds and everything, my mind will not be disturbed even an inch. But if you put women from Kanyakumari to Kashmir all around, and if you ask me to walk, I can't say, my mind will slip. It will slip. And that's how dangerous our mind is, that it is spontaneously going towards women. Woman is not the problem. That's not the problem here, Striyam. Problem is you who wants to exploit them. That's the problem, you yourself. That has to be kept in mind in this verse. It's not that don't go near women, so they are a problem. No, they are not a problem. You're a problem. And how to stop that spontaneous flow towards lust? That's the question. How to do that? The Vingla says pragya. Pragya means by intelligent discrimination. And what Prabhupada said? Prabhupada doesn't mention it. Okay. By intelligent discrimination, Prabhupada mentions in how can by intelligence we can stop this strong flow of lust. How it is possible? Is it possible, first of all? If you become extremely intelligent, it seems impossible just by intelligence to stop this force. It's almost impossible. But the word here used is not as buddhi. The word is pragya. And pragya in Sanskrit means not just buddhi, but it means consciousness. Pragya means consciousnness, actually. Yeah. So, but what is spiritual intelligence? That's the idea. That's a word. Okay, that's okay. By spiritual intelligence we can stop, but we see we are not able to stop. Many sannyasis fell down. We know the history of ISKCON because of women. Because of women, because of their own tendency to exploit women. That's the idea. So, pragya means, Prabhupada explains in Nectar of Instruction, pragya. He says, pragya means consciousness, not just intelligence. That means, if by intelligence we try to understand Krishna, his philosophy, we try to understand Krishna by intelligence, then we will get enthusiasm. Prabhupada defines enthusiasm as intelligence. Intelligent application of Krishna consciousness is enthusiasm. That will give enthusiasm. And that enthusiasm is to do with consciousness. Our consciousness will be enthused, will be happy in service of Krishna. And we are happy in service of Krishna and inspired in service of Krishna, then your mind will not flow towards lust. So this word is important. So it's not intelligent discrimination per se which will help you to get rid of lust. That's not possible. Because there are many scholars also. Not per se. It's not buddhi but pragya. Because the consequence of understanding Krishna is enthusiasm. The consequence of understanding love of God is enlivenment. You get enlivened. That's what I was just discussing. That question one Mataji asked me. That why are we discussing so much about love of God? If love of God is there and we are here, we are nowhere near that. No, like even the shadow of love of God seems impossible to attain. So why we are discussing? Because by discussing that, by intelligently discriminating what is love and what is lust, we will get inspired and enlivened to attain that love, that pure love. We must attain, and that enlivenment will bring enthusiasm, and that enthusiasm will actually stop that flow of lust towards matter. That's what Kam Krishna Karmarpane, that is said Manartham Das Thakur. That surrender, offer your lust to Krishna, and this is a way to do that. Lust means enthusiasm. That's lust. So, for example, if we get a thought of a woman, but if we don't want to enjoy her, no problem. We are not enthusiastic to meet her. If you're not enthusiastic to meet a woman, you don't get bad thoughts for her. You're not enthusiastic. I don't care about her. That's okay. So that component of enthusiasm is there. And that's where Rupa Goswami says, Utsaha Nishchadharyat. The first qualification for devotion is enthusiasm. And if you can modulate your enthusiasm from matter to spirit, automatically lust will be channelized. That's the idea. And how to do that? How do you get enthusiasm in anything? By understanding that subject. If we understand calculus, we will get enthusiasm in calculus. We will then do PhD in calculus. We want to do. So that is pragya. Nadigachet striyam pragya. Nadigachet striyam. So to not let our mind go spontaneously towards lust, we must have pragya. We must discuss and try to understand and discriminate between anatma and atma. That's the word used. Anatma, atma vivek in Vedas. What is spirit? What is matter? What is lust? What is love? Everything about them. Everything. Lust in details, love in details. So what is milk? What is water? In details. And then you can separate them. Then by the power of enthusiasm to serve Krishna, then we get his blessings and we will be able to separate it easily. So that is pragya. But then Pingla, this verse says, but if you don't choose to become intelligent, and if you don't discriminate between lust and love, then what happens? Karichin. Then at any time, mrityu, death will come. Mrityu atmana. Atmana means you will kill yourself. Anytime death can come. So death here doesn't mean you die. Death means you lose Krishna. You forget him. You forget him. As soon as we indulge in lust, at that point we forget Krishna. That's all. Finish. We'll forget him. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 64th verse and 65th verse. That dhyayata visham pumsa sangasteshu jayate. And all that. Buddhi nasho pranashyati. You are finished. You are dead. So, if you forgetting Krishna is actually worse than death. It is said that any moment forgetful of Krishna, that is actually death. Without dying, you die. Because why? Because when you forget Krishna, then you forget yourself. You forget your soul. And you forget yourself, that is death. That's all. What happens at death? We die, we forget everything. We forgotten even ourselves at the time of death, no? This word and everything we forget. We are dead. And that's when we forget Krishna, we forget ourselves. When we forget ourselves, our real entity, we are practically dead. By all practical understanding. If there is no sun, then there is no light. If there is no light, then there is darkness. And if there is darkness, we will not be able to see anything. So there is no sun of Krishna in our heart. If we forget him, then there will be darkness. We will not be able to see ourselves also. And that is death. So there are, in scriptures, Prabhupada mentions in Bhagavatam, not in this, in 2nd canto, there are 5 types of death. 5 types of death. So one death is, of course, when you die. One death is when you leave this body. Take another body. That's the death. Second death is when you sleep. Sleep is also called death. You're almost dead because you forget your consciousness. It's equal to death. And then there is this kind of death where you forget Krishna. This is also called death. You forget Krishna, you forget the goal of life, you forget yourself. That's death. And then there is a universal death. Death of this planetary system. In which you and along with all living entities die. And then there is death of entire universe. Mahapralaya. So there are 5 kinds of death. And the worst kind of death is not death. It is this, forgetting Krishna. So that's what is advised. We have to be careful. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, we have to be careful in seeing where your mind is going. where your emotions are going, or where your enthusiasm is going. That's the idea. And Prabhupada mentions I think in Chaitanya Charita Bhagavatam, I was reading a beautiful line. Prabhupada says, in Nectrum instruction, 8th verse, Prabhupada says, you can know that you are falling down by the level of interest in Krishna consciousness or material world.
Level of?
Interest. Yeah, interest. By level of interest. And interest means enthusiasm. So by the level of enthusiasm, you can understand where you are. So Prabhupada says, if you're more enthusiastic for material world than Krishna consciousness, this means you're fallen. So the point is, we might be doing Krishna consciousness, we are in material world and we are doing Krishna consciousness, but you have to see where your enthusiasm is going. By that we can judge whether we are advancing or not. It's not enough to know, okay, we are doing Krishna consciousness, we are in material world, some attraction is there, that's obviously there, everybody has. Some attraction is here, that's obviously there, because Krishna is anyway sweet, that any fool and donkey can get attracted to him. That's no problem. He is supremely attracted. But then you have to measure where your attraction is going more. That enthusiasm is going more. If you're more enthusiastic in Krishna service than matter, this means you're advancing. Because that to nullify that enthusiasm, that's difficult in first go. So by that we can understand what is actually happening in our spiritual life.
Basically, what is the default position? What is the default mode? So when we are not doing anything, are we planning for Krishna or are we planning for our own self?
Yeah, planning also you can see, when we are not doing anything. Yeah.
Not doing, so we're thinking about how to increase service or how to do.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, when you are alone, you have to watch your mind, where that mind is going. Yeah, or maybe when you're doing service, then also we can see, anyway I'm doing service, but my mind is going somewhere else. That's the point. I'm offering something, Hare Krishna, but mind is thinking something else about food and not exactly about Krishna. So that's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. We have to keep track of our enthusiasm and interest. And that's what it's all about. Ruchi, that's what is everything all about. Ruchi is everything in devotional life. Ruchi means bhav means emotion means enthusiasm means interest. And that is what is love all about. And that is what is Shraddha all about. Faith carries ruchi. Faith without interest has no meaning. Okay, I have faith in God but I have no interest. What is the meaning of that? This is absolutely complete nonsense. So faith carries a portion of interest. Faith is made of interest and enthusiasm. There is no meaning of faith without enthusiasm. So, and that's what we are working on here. So when your enthusiasm decreases in service of Krishna, that's death. That's all. You're dead. You're not enthusiastic. You're just a walking zombie. You're a walking, living, dead person. We are like that. So we have to see that. That's what she says. This verse says, Karichin mityum atmanah. You will die. Your enthusiasm will die. That's the idea. That's the worst death. Your enthusiasm is going to die if you think about lust. So keep a track on your soul, on your sankalp. That's pragya actually. Pragya has that meaning of sankalp. That import. Consciousness is to do with sankalp. Mind is to do with sankalp. No, mind's idea is sankalp and vikalp. That is mind. And mind is inspired by consciousness. So this sankalp means will, your will. Your will. W-I-L-L. So that we have to track on. Where our sankalp is going. What we want enthusiastically. We want many things, but we want what we want more. That we have to check out. And we have to keep a track. And if we want matter more, just throw that desire out. Immediately, because if we don't take immediate action, then dhyayat apeshyam pumsa sangasthesha jayate sangasan jayatama kama krodha vijayate krodhat krodhat smriti vibrama buddhi nasha. Okay, fine, finished. You are gone. Maya will kill us. Atmana. So here Atmana means your self. Prabhupada says oneself, or your consciousness, or your identity. We forget Krishna. Okay. But then it says Bala adhikaya sahanyata. So this verse says that, okay, fine, you might think, no, I will protect myself from lust. No problem. I'll be super intelligent and protect myself. Says, no, you can't do that. Enthusiasm will protect you. The taste will protect you. The interest. You can't protect yourself. Just by your own intelligence, by your own tiny efforts, it's not possible. By your intelligence and efforts, you have to get to the platform of enthusiasm, and that will protect you. That's what Krishna says. That there are two verses. Ras varjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. By getting higher taste, you lose lower taste. So who is protecting you from lower taste? Higher taste. Or Krishna says, Yoga Kshema Mahameham in Gita. I maintain my devotees. I protect my devotees from falling down by giving them taste. My taste will protect them. So we are not protecting ourselves. If we think we can protect ourselves, no. We are absolutely on mercy of God. We have to somehow get to the platform of taste. At least something. At least some glimpse. That is why Bhaktivedanta said, Prabhupada also says, by Bhaktivedanta, Prabhupada says in 9th chapter, 2nd verse, in the 3rd verse, 9th chapter, 3rd verse, Ashadha Dhana Purusha. What's that verse? Dharmasyasya parantapa aprapya mamne vartante mrityu samsara vartmani. Krishna says in that purport about faith, in that translation. And Prabhupada says in the purport that neophytes will definitely fall down. Nobody can protect them. And who is a neophyte, he defines. It's not that a person who is 1 year in Krishna Consciousness is neophyte, who is 20 years, he is Uttam. He can be 20 years and absolutely neophyte. It can happen like that. Time matters, but not always. If it is not utilized properly. So even 20 years we can be neophyte. Because Prabhupada defines there, who is a neophyte? A neophyte is a one who doesn't have a glimpse of the taste, of that enthusiasm of service of Krishna. That interest. He is a neophyte. He's working on the platform of rules and regulations and some philosophy, that's all. But he's not on the platform of Bala. Bala means strength. And there's a verse from Upanishads which Prabhupada quotes, Nayama Atma Balahina Labhyo. And this very verse, Bala, Prabhupada defines as mercy and enthusiasm. Both. Some places you define as mercy and enthusiasm because it's all the same. By mercy of Krishna you get enthusiasm and taste. Without His mercy you don't get enthusiasm and taste. And that's what classical commentaries also defines as Bala is. Not just your efforts, but the taste which you get through your efforts. That is what is defined. So Bala Adhikaya. So by your own strength we will not be able to defeat this lust for striya, for woman, for this nature. By higher strength it can happen. But because Bala Adhikaya, because Maya is very strong. Prabhupada says there can be many other. If you try to enjoy ladies' company, can at any moment be killed by her other lovers who are stronger than he. So okay, there are other forces around us. There is illusion. If you think you can fight him, her, no, that's not possible. If a person thinks, okay, I'm very strong. If a tree thinks I am very strongly rooted in the ground, if tsunami comes, it will not be able to do anything. He is absolutely mad. Nothing is going to happen like that. No. Maya illusion can make us do anything at any moment. So we'll be doing such things that we can't even imagine that illusion can do. Baladikai sahanyeta. And he will be, ultimately, he will fall down. Anyeta means he will be killed. He will fall down from devotional platform. So Gajer Anyer Gajayata, and this example is given that just as elephant trying to enjoy she elephant is killed by other bull elephants. Similarly, if we try to enjoy this material world, then we'll become a good target for illusion. We'll fall down, she'll pull us down more. That is what illusion is all about. That is Maya. That is the ditch of Maya. If you fall down in that ditch, you'll be more sucked in. That is Prakshepatmika Avaranatmika. She'll pull you down. You just have to touch her. She'll pull you. That's all. That's all. You just have to, your mind will go out of your control. And you'll be doing such things which you can't even imagine yourself. So that is what this verse is, a beautiful analogy and trying to help us understand what is happening with us in our consciousness and how to fight that and how to save ourselves from this disease. Prabhupada uses this word disease. It's a beautiful word. Prabhupada uses lust. Prabhupada says it's a disease. And I used to think, why Prabhupada is saying lust as disease? What is this? It's not a disease, as a doctor. But then, I thought Prabhupada is using this word disease because he was also a chemist. So probably he just used as analogy, but it's not an analogy. In Ayurveda, the first verse of Ayurveda, Bhagavatam, that's a book of Ayurveda, Bhagavatam begins with this verse. Number one disease out of all diseases is lust. He says it's in medical book. It's not just in a poetic book. Lust is a disease. No. It's a medical. Lust is actually a disease of mind. So we are all diseased. And then there's a medicine for this. Prabhupada says Hare Krishna is medicine. So that is also mentioned in Ayurveda. So he gives all medicines of all disease, and then the last he says, okay, there's a medicine for lust also, that is the names of God. He says this. He says this. Exactly he says this. So Prabhupada uses a good terminology in that sense. He's not just making it up. He's giving exact scripture as it is. We might feel it's poetry, but it's not poetry. Now this verse is also helping us to understand how these dynamics work in our life, how we can safeguard, how we can advance in devotion. It is a good verse, and if we can remember this verse always, we'll never die and we'll live forever. That's what is the promise of this verse. You can live forever. Live a happy, ya atma suprasidati, a happy, satisfied life. Anything might happen in your life by the force of time. That's what Bhagavatam says. By the force of time, even Yudhishthira has to suffer. Kunti suffered. And Prabhupada writes in the purport, a devotee should not become depressed when some things happen in life, because even a pure devotee is subjected to force of time. But for him, time is Krishna. That's another thing. But whatever is going to happen, that will happen. Time is Krishna's will, Prabhupada says. That will happen. And his will unfold with time. He will not tell you that I am going to do this. He is not going to tell you. Kalachandji is not going to tell you, so tomorrow I am going to mess up your life. He is not going to tell you like that. But his will unfold through time. And pure devotees are subjected to his will, so they are subjected to time. So that's why with time they suffered. They had so much problem, injustice. Of course, they could understand that his will is unfolding through time. But nevertheless, everybody is subjected to force of time. And Bhagavatam says that a pure devotee should not be depressed by that. He should accept it and keep on continuing. And how to keep on continuing? This is a verse, this is a trick. Be enthusiastic in service of Krishna, and you will feel nothing. Life will go like this. You become old and Krishna smriti jar, deha smriti nahi har. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, when you remember Krishna, you will forget even your body, or to talk of this material world. You have of pains and pain of this body. That's a big thing. That's what is the promise of this verse. if we follow the first word, na adhigachet, if we don't go towards our wrong sankalp, if we don't invite our wrong ideas. Gachet also means invite, either go or come. Gachet also means come. In Bengali you say, I am coming. When you go, you say, I am coming. Ami ashbo. You don't say, Ami jabo. So gachet also means to come. So gachet means go outside or go inside. It's all the same. So when you don't invite your own stupid ideas, your own lust, it is there but you don't invite it. It's there. Slowly it will go fade and you're inviting Krishna in your life and His service, always inviting at every second. And then we can attain Krishna very easily. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anything you want to ask? Otherwise, I'm done.
Thank you. Remind me of Bhakti Vikasa Swami. She's so very easy to understand.
Yeah, Bhakti Vikasa Swami. All glories to him.
Krishna Anand, right?
Keshav Anand.
Keshav?
Anand.
Keshav Anand. So, we're talking about, you were presenting how our taste is our strength. Our taste is what's going to save us.
Yeah.
So, can you give us some practical examples, of things we can do in the day that will give us taste?
Okay, that's a very good practical question. and of course that will matter. That only matters. And how can we develop taste about Krishna? And the first advice is that what I was just giving a lecture, just before this class I was giving a lecture on conference call. And the first advice is try to understand what is love. That's the first advice. And how to do that? By reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. And we don't see many devotees reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. Is it? I didn't see. I didn't even see people reading Bhagavad Gita. What is Chaitanya Charitamrita? But nevertheless, okay, Prabhupada says, actually once there was a discussion between who is this scientist? Bhakti Sarvadamata Maharaj? Yes, Bhakti Sarvadamata Maharaj and Prabhupada when he was a brahmachari. So Bhakti Sarvadamata Maharaj, Bhakti Charu Maharaj. Bhakti Charu Maharaj has written a book, Ocean of Mercy. You saw that? Recently? So I got that book in Charlotte for 1-2 days and I read it. And in that book, he asked Prabhupada that Prabhupada, should we read, Prabhupada, I want to read Chaitanya Charitamrita and all this, but devotees are saying, you said first read Gita, then Bhagavatam, then Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Prabhupada said, I didn't say that. He said, Prabhupada, you said in your purports, Gita is undergraduation, Bhagavatam is post-graduation, and Chaitanya Charitamrita is PhD or super specialization. Postgraduate and then CC is super specialization. So that's how you said. Prabhupada said, yeah, that's okay. But Prabhupada said that, but what is the import of Gita? He said the import of Gita is that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So are you convinced? He said, yes. What is the import of Bhagavatam? Import of Bhagavatam is that aim of life is to love Him. Are you convinced? Yes. So then you can read Chaitanya Charitamrita. So if you understand the import of those two books, you can always read Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then Prabhupada quotes from Bhagavatam, no matter from anywhere you eat sugar candy, it is sweet. So these books are designed in such a way and commented by Prabhupada in such a way so that we don't go here and there. We will not be going here and there, deviated. And so that is why it is very important to read Chaitanya Charitamrita. In fact, without reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, we will not even understand what is Bhagavatam. Chaitanya Charitamrita is a commentary on Bhagavatam. That's what is Chaitanya Charitamrita all about. You read Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu discussion with Raman Rai and Sarup Damodar and Dante Leela and Madhya Leela also. What Mahaprabhu is doing? He's quoting Bhagavatam words and he's commenting. That's how it goes, no? Bhagavatam was commenting. So that's one advice. To develop taste, if we can read Chaitanya Charitamrita, it will be very beneficial for all of us, especially Madhya Leela, Ante Leela. And that's helping us. Why? Because it will help us to understand the goal of life. Love. Love, okay. Details, okay. That is love. And when we understand, we'll want to attain that. We want to become lover of God. And that's taste, no? That leads us to taste. So that is one. And second thing what Prabhupada advised was, not advised, but he ordered that every devotee should read Krishna book daily. Prabhupada said, at least 1 hour, he said. He said 1 hour. 1 hour. So that's one thing, we can read Krishna book when we sleep. While sleeping, read that. So that then in whole life we are busy, daytime. So you can read it as a... You see, what I read Krishna book as a romantic novel. For me, it's a novel of romance. People read that, thriller and romance. So we can read that. So that's a good thing. So reading, first advice is reading. And the second advice for developing taste is, please chant properly. And that, I don't see many devotees doing that in ISKCON, because the last thing we do is chanting. It's like that. We do everything. We do chanting also, but we're not with same focus and importance as we do other things. And that focus while chanting is, Bhaktivedanta Thakur says in his song, which is in his ISKCON book, he says, Apana Thaka Kaje. When you chant holy names, even if there's a bomb blast in maybe near your building, no problem, let it happen. Just chant. So that chanting, if it is done in a prayerful mood and glorification mood, that will help us, that will give us strength to attain that. In fact, with a prayer, we have to chant with a prayerful mood. Krishna, give us that taste in your service. Prabhupada says, engage me in your service. Prabhupada says that. But Prabhupada says one more thing. It's like a child's cry to mother. Prabhupada doesn't say, just say engage me in your service. Engage me in your service, engage me in your service. No. It's a child's cry to mother. And that is what is a prayer. Just like a child cries, Mama, I want you so. We cry, Krishna, please give us the taste in your service, so that I can be engaged in your service. Please engage me in your service. So how? That with that eagerness to attain that taste. If we chant, we'll get taste. So Krishna will give you what you want. Okay. If you're praying for me for taste for 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 10 years, one day Krishna will be pleased. Okay, I give you. Take it. Like a king. We might not deserve, but if you're after him, okay, take it. Just like child doesn't deserve anything, no? Okay, Mama, you give me this. I want 100 rupees note. Mama will say, come on, what you will do? You'll eat it. But if he's after her, she'll give. That is causeless mercy. But that comes on those people who desire that. It doesn't come like that. Otherwise, causeless mercy has no meaning. Otherwise, it will mean causeless mercy. Krishna has no intelligence and just he's taking out lotteries and giving. No. The desire component has to be there. And then he gives causeless mercy. You don't deserve, but I give you because there is desire. So that's one thing. Chanting with a desire to attain that taste. Then we'll attain. And third thing is what this verse is talking about. We have to be careful of those things which actually destroy that taste for you. It might be different for you, it might be different for me. It's different for different people, no? Like for example, I might be disturbed by food. Somebody might be disturbed not by food, okay? For him it's a small thing. Maybe it might be disturbed by internet. So we have to see what is obstructing us and try to avoid it. Try to just reject it, finish it off. Just the last, even the small traces of our attraction to matter, we have to introspect and take it and just throw it off. How? By getting away from that object. That object we have to get away, otherwise it will catch us. So we have to see what is more problematic for us. How can I get rid of this? How can I make my life in such a way so that I don't have distractions? And I don't think so. We will not get taste. Mukhe, what's that? Se rase majiya, mukhe bolo hari hari. Vishaya chhadiya, se rase majiya, mukhe bolo hari hari. This is a trick. It's simple, but application is required. Is it okay?
Yes,
that's why.
Thank you.
That's why I think like that. Yeah. In fact, philosophy. We can discuss philosophy. That also helps in developing taste. Philosophy will make us determined. Okay. Utishta, Jagrita, Prape, Varan, Nibodhata. Get up, awake, arise, attain Krishna. It's so nice. So this kind of, we can read that and it will inspire us to get that taste. So all these things combined.
Like Keshav,
yeah.
One thing that was coming to me, I had this experience last night. I'm working with a Prabhupada disciple. He was best friends with Jayananda Prabhu.
Oh, yeah.
Famous Jayananda Prabhu.
Yeah.
So his name is Maheshwar Prabhu. So he was an engineer that designed the carts and stuff, and he was working with Jayananda Prabhu, and they made carts like all over the world. So he lives in Ojai, California, and he preaches there. He's married, and but he still builds carts. Like he just built the Ralph Yager carts for Los Angeles and New Orleans. And a few things he did with me, but I mean, one thing was whenever I talk to him, he's so enthusiastic. So, like, just talking to him makes me very enthusiastic. But then he sent me a film of what he's doing, and the film, I mean, I just couldn't stop watching it. It was just amazing. So, one of the things I wanted to bring up is that association with the devotees that are already introduced.
Absolutely. Actually, this is a very important point, which I should have said. You have to associate with people who have this enthusiasm and taste. Actually, that's the crux. That is the crux. That's the most important point. We can read, we can read philosophy, but if we don't have association of devotees who are having that fire, it'll go down slowly. That is why all scripture says, sadhu sang, sar shastra. Take association of devotees who are enthused. That's very important. This is an important point. So all these things, rules and regulations, following rules and regulations, that keeps us enthusiastic. Strictly, okay, good. But this is the most important point, association of devotees. This has to be said. Okay, what is that? Keep the best for the last. That's the best point.
I was thinking, talking about philosophy. So one thing we should all try to do, some of us, who have that interest like you, try to defeat all of these philosophies.
Philosophers?
Philosophers. Prabhupada said philosophers.
Is that a real word?
Prabhupada made it.
I've never heard that.
Like this Parādhika, Prabhupada says it so many times in his lectures that Nayam Atma Bala.
Prabhupada's created English language.
So that Prabhupada, beats this guy. He's the one who created this nonsense.
Actually, there is one more thing. By preaching also we remain enthusiastic. That's one thing. Why we get taste by preaching when we defeat wrong philosophies. That's interesting. And so it's a package. I don't say one thing you can get taste. It's never going to happen. We simply keep on preaching and defeating others, and we don't do any other thing. Nothing. We simply keep on reading and don't preach, nothing is going to happen. If we simply associate with devotees and we don't chant properly, nothing. It's a package. And that's what Bhaktivedanta says. If you want nice music, all strings should be vibrating in harmony. All strings in the guitar. Then voice comes. So this is the package which Prabhupada gives. That's all.
That's why when our Prabhupada was asked quality or quantity or this or that, Prabhupada said everything.
Everything. Yukta ahar viharasya cha yukta chestasya karmasya. Yukta sapnabodhasya yoga bhakti dukkha. Yukt, that balance between ahar. Ahar means taste of devotion. There is another meaning to this verse, by the way. So that taste of devotion. Vihar means association. Yukta sapnabodhasya, that means following rules and regulations. When you're awake, when you're asleep. Yukta chestasya karmasya. And then your activities in devotional life. When they're balanced, then no unhappiness. Okay, any other question? Otherwise, we'll just stop here. Okay, Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Yukta ahar viharasya cha yukta chestasya karmasya. Yukta sapna bodhasya yoga bhakti dukkha. Yukt, that balance between ahar. Ahar means taste of devotion. There is another meaning to this verse, by the way. So that taste of devotion. Vihar means association. Yukta sapna bodhasya. That means following rules and regulations. When you're awake, when you're asleep. Yukta chestasya karmasya. And then your activities in devotional life. When they're balanced, then no unhappiness. Okay, any other question? Otherwise, we'll just stop here. Okay, Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.